Hello my dear students, today we will learn a new problem. What do we have? We have a chain. Okay, the length of the chain is A. A part X of the chain is hanging out of a table. It is overhanging a table. And there is no force of friction between the surface of the chain and the table. So at any arbitrary instant of time, I have drawn this diagram. Suppose X part of the chain is out of the table and A minus X part of the chain is on the table. At the initial instant, that is at t equal to 0, the length of the chain which was hanging was B. The question is, we need to find out the time interval after which the entire chain slips off. And we have considered no friction in our analysis. So once we have defined our problem, now let's get started. So at any arbitrary instant of time, what I can say that when the chain has started slipping, suppose it has got some velocity v. The velocity with which the hanging part of the chain is coming down is the same velocity with which this part of the chain on the table is moving. Alright. So what we can say? We can say the kinetic energy of the chain is half mv square, where capital M is the mass of the chain. Now the hanging part of the chain has come down by a distance x. So where lies the center of mass of this hanging part of the chain? Somewhere here. So it lies somewhere here. At what distance? At a distance x by 2. So I may consider that the table surface is my reference line. So this is potential energy equals to 0 level. So when the chain has come down by a distance x by 2, then it has suffered some loss in gravitational potential energy. So what is the loss in gravitational potential energy? So I can say that mass of the length x. What is the mass of the length x? This is a uniform chain. So mass per unit length is A multiplied by x. That is the mass of this hanging part of the chain at this instant of time. We have considered the instant of time t equal to t. G, and by what distance has center of mass gone down? X by 2. So what we can say? X by 2. And this is the energy. This is the total energy of the system. And this is total mechanical energy of the system, which must be constant. Suppose C1 is some constant. Okay. So from here, what can I say? What can I say from here? So it implies V square minus Gx square by A equals to 2 times C1 by M. So basically from left side I took M by 2 common. So I took it on the other side. So this is some other constant. I can call this one as constant C. These are all constants. So from here basically what do I get? I basically get dx dt whole square this. Now see, at instant t equal to 0, at the instant t equal to 0 it is given x equals to b. The initial condition is given and at that time the chain was at rest, so dx dt is 0. So at t equal to 0, x equal to b and dx dt 0. So therefore what is the value of c I am getting? Minus g b square by a. So if I put the value over there, what will I get in this particular equation? So therefore what we can say, v square, or I can say like this, dx dt is equals to g x square minus v square by a whole thing raised to the power half. Okay. So if we separate the variables, so what we'll get? So dx divided by square root of x square minus b square equals to root over g by a dt. Very simple. So now I can very easily solve this. So if I integrate it, what will be my limits? So here I will integrate, say the time in which the chain slips off, I am integrating 0 to t0, and here I must integrate it from x equals to b to x equals to a, because now it is hanging b. So when the whole chain falls up, so I will write it x equals to a. So if I integrate it, what will I do? So here I can see very easily the symmetry of the equation. So let me take let x equals to b sec theta, or dx b sec theta tan theta d theta, okay, and x square minus b square is b square sec square theta minus 1, which is b square tan square theta. Okay, now if I put it there, so therefore if I check the limits, so when x equals to b, see here you put b, so that means sec theta is 1, so that means theta equals to 0 degree, and x equals to a, then the value of theta will be what? A by b is sec theta, so cos theta equals to b by a, so I can say cos theta 0 or theta 0 cos inverse b by a. Alright, simple integration, you all know it better than me. So now if we integrate it, what will I get? We will integrate it from b, b means 0, theta has become 0, at a theta has become theta 0, dx, dx means this one, b sec theta tan theta d theta, and root over x square minus b square will give me b tan theta, b tan theta, b tan theta cancels off, so you are left with sec theta d theta. So root over g by a multiplied by t0. So if you integrate it, integration sec x dx will give you log of mod sec x plus tan x. So therefore t naught equals to square root of a by g log to the base e sec theta plus tan theta, and we must integrate it, so it has to be integrated from 0 to theta 0. Now please see, if I see theta 0, so now in this integration, if you see the lower limit if you put sec 0 is 1, tan 0 is 0, and log of 1 is 0, so we can forget about the lower limit. Think about the upper limit. You see ln sec theta 0 plus tan theta 0. Now you look over here. So what do we know? Cos theta 0 is b by a. So cos theta 0 is base by hypotenuse b by a. So the altitude will be root over a squared minus b square. So sec theta 0 will be what? Hypotenuse by base. So it is a by b. And tan theta 0 root over a squared minus b square by b. So you are adding the two. So you will get a plus root over a square minus b square whole divided by b. So what is my final answer? Log to the base e, a plus square root of a square minus b square b. So basically we got our answer that after this time the whole chain will slide off. Now if we take the discussion further, let us differentiate equation 1 with respect to time. What we will get? So if we differentiate, what we will get? We will get 2 dx dt d2x dt2 equals to 2gx by a dx dt. So I can cancel off 2 dx dt both sides, and this will give me d2x dt2 equals to gx by a. So this is my force equation. Okay. So now I have to solve this equation. So let x equals to, there is a standard procedure to solve this type of differential equation, second order differential equation, a to the power mt plus b to the power minus mt. So very clearly you can see that if you do double differentiation of this d2x dt2, please try and you will find out it will come as m square x. So if you substitute here, you will get m square, and here gx you have already put here, the m squared minus g by a to x equals to 0. So or am equals to plus minus root over g by a. Okay, so you'll get this one. So therefore my solution will be x equals to a e to the power root over g by a into t plus b e to the power minus root over g by a into t. Now you see at t equals to 0, at t equals to 0, x equals to b. So therefore a plus b is equals to b. So this is your one equation maybe. Now again you see dx dt, if you do root over g by a will come out, a e to the power so at t equals to 0, velocity is how much? 0. So if you put the value here, this is 1, this is 1, so a minus b is equals to 0. So a minus b. So very clearly you can understand that a or b are equal and a plus b is small b. So therefore what we can write, that a equal to b equals to b by 2. So if it is b by 2, my equation, this particular equation, my solution becomes therefore x equals to b by 2 e to the power mt by definition. This is a hyperbolic function. E to the power mt plus e to the power minus mt will give me cos h mt. Okay, so it's a hyperbolic function. So what can I write? I can write x equals to b cos h mt. What is m? What is my m? M is equals to root over g by a. So this is my solution. This is my solution. So once I got this, I have to use the initial condition. So at t equals to t0, the whole chain falls off, right? I want to find out the time after which the whole chain falls off. So at t equals to t0, x equals to a. So I can directly write from here, you please see. So t0 will be what? T0 will be, here is a, here is b. So a by b, t0 will be, first of all, cos h root over g by a, t0 equals to, it will be a by b, right? So we should write it in this way. Root over a by g cos hyperbolic inverse a by b. Okay, we are supposed to get like this. Now what is cos hyperbolic inverse of x? Cos hyperbolic inverse of x has a direct relation log to the base e x plus root over x square minus 1. Okay, So basically this is the formula. Cos h inverse x is this, and here you see our x is a by b. So if you put a by b here, so here this will be a by b, and a square by b square minus 1. So a square minus b square by b. So basically we are getting this result back. So by using energy approach we got the time interval, by using force approach also we got the time interval, and here we solved a second order differential equation, and our solution is a hyperbolic function. Okay, now cos hx, please see this relation. Cos hx can be written as e to the power x plus e to the power minus x by 2. So this is my e to the power x curve. Okay, and this is my e to the power minus x curve. Suppose you are plotting y versus x. So this will be e to the power x graph. This will be e to the power minus x graph. So it is average of these two. Every time it will pass as an average. So if I plot a graph x versus t, as you can see that x is a hyperbolic function of time, as you can see. So x depends on t by cos h relation. So basically our graph will look like this. But we have to exclude this particular part. Why? Because time cannot be negative. So only this part of the graph survives. So if you plot the length of the chain at an arbitrary instant which is overhanging the table with respect to time, the graph looks like this. This is called a catenary. Okay, this is called a catenary. It's a type of a it appears like a parabola, but it is not a parabola. Okay, don't have this misconception. Okay, it's a funicular curve. Basically it's called a catenary. It is not a parabola, though it appears like parabola. Suppose you take a chain and you hang the chain between two support, and the chain hangs because of its own weight. We call that a catenary. Okay, so this is a catenary, as you can see, and we only get this part of it because this part does not exist, as time cannot be negative. And here you see, why is this problem so interesting? Because here you see at any arbitrary instant of time, value of x varies with t according to this relation. This is a very, very interesting relation. There is a dependence of cos h something into t. Okay, so it's a hyperbolic function. Okay, now you have here b coefficient multiplied here. So actually this got lifted from the origin by a distance b. That is the reason why. Okay, so you can very easily understand that when you put t equal to 0, what survives here? Only b is left here. Okay, so this one will be 1, this one will be 1, so 1 plus 1, and here you will get x equals to b. So that's why it has got lifted by a distance b along the vertical direction. So that's pretty much it. I hope you understood the fundamental concepts that I tried to explain by this problem. So well, thank you everyone. I hope this problem was useful to you. See you once again with another interesting problem. Till then, goodbye.